Boy, do we have a story for you today. Tucker Carlson was attacked by demons. We'll talk about it on this episode of the Faith and Power Podcast. Welcome to the Faith and Power Podcast. I am your host, Evangelist E.R. Hotard. I tell you what, we have a lot going on right now. We just started a church, and it's at 916 Carlisle Street in Rosenberg, Texas. 916 Carlisle Street, Rosenberg, Texas. We had our Bible study last night. We've got our first true Sunday night service coming up on Sunday night, which we are looking forward to. We've got musicians coming in. We're looking forward to seeing what God's going to do. Deliverance we're sending deliverance out to everyone who needs deliverance. If you're willing and wanting to go through deliverance, we're here for you, no matter where you're at. But if you are in the Houston area, please get in contact with me or go to my website, faithandpowerpodcast.com. You can send me a message through there if you'd like to support our ministry, what we're doing, because we do not charge for deliverance. And it takes a lot of time with a lot of people. So it would be much appreciated if you can help and support our ministry at faithandpowerpodcast.com. I announced the name of the new church. I know to some it's not much of a surprise, but we're going off of Faith and Power Podcast. Our new church name is Faith and Power Fellowship. So we have faith and power through Christ and through the Holy Ghost. So we're going to bring this message to all the world if we can. But let's get into it. And I'm going to let you hear the story yourself from Tucker Carlson. This is the last person I would think would be talking about demons, being attacked by demons. But look, this really happens. Happens to a lot of folks. And a lot of people have had plenty of experiences but don't like to talk about it because others just think they're crazy or dismiss them. But this is going on all the time. I hear stories all the time. How many people has told me that, wow, I'm so comfortable. Thank you for actually listening to me, because people's stories, they want to be able to be told. And they're being held back because of fear of people dismissing them or thinking they're crazy. You're not crazy. You've been attacked or you've seen demonic entities, and I can tell you, nearly everybody has. But nobody likes to talk about it. But look, here's Tucker Carlson in his own words. He's having an interview with Megyn Kelly.
I thought the whole thing was like bizarre.
So what happened?
Because like culturally, I'm just not from a world where people are attacked by demons. And in fact, when it happened the next morning, when I saw the blood on my sheets, I was like, I actually called someone who works for me who's a very sincere, lifelong evangelical, and I'm like, have you ever heard of this? And she's like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. And I was like, what? Not to Episcopalians, it doesn't.
Stuff it down.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed at all, and I don't care if I'm mocked. Don't get anything out of making this up, and I'm not making it up.
But what happened?
I had this crazy experience where I was in the truck with someone coming back from quail hunting, and I had all of a sudden we were talking about someone I despise. And all of a sudden I had this crazy empathy for the person, like really intense empathy, like I could understand why this person was doing these horrible things. And I said to the person in the truck, this is a family dispute, right? So said to the person, maybe my brother, and I said, I think I know what's happening here. This person feels this way, that way, this way. And my brother goes, how did you know that? I said, I don't know. It just like, and my brother goes, I think like God is like speaking through you or something. And I felt total true empathy for this person I truly hate. It was like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. I have no idea where it came from. My brother's like, I think that's from God. Like, there's no way you could. I was like, well, that's kind of wild. So then I get home. We have this huge dinner party, which we always have dinner parties, and I forget about it. And I'm telling you this because they're twinned. The one leads to the other. I had this profound experience with God, like profound and beautiful and unexpected. And then I go to bed with my wife and 4 dogs who sleep in the bed. My wife said 4 children. My dogs are hunting dogs. All 5 of them wake up like that. Like we have no home invaders in my house. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I check and I couldn't breathe at all. My throat was closed. It wasn't like I was apnea or was strong as I couldn't breathe. So I get up, I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, and I'm like, wow, I'm dying. I could feel myself starting to gray out. And then I started walking in the backyard, and then it slowly came back. Like my throat kind of opened up a little bit. I was like really weirded out. I walked back in, and my wife wakes up. She goes, "What is going on?" I said, "I don't know. I can't breathe. I feel better now." And all of a sudden, I had this horrible pain underneath my arms, like on the side of my chest, like bad. I thought I'd been like ripped with a knife or something. It just was very intense. So I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light, and I have claw marks on both sides, on right and left side on my ribs, and they're bleeding. And they're literally claw marks, 4 on either side. I put my fingers in them, don't fit my fingers, and I sleep on my side. So how could? And by the way, no one woke up. So I show my wife, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And then I have this like crazy intense desire to read the Bible. So I read the Bible, and I pass out in like 2 minutes, and I wake up, and the next morning I thought, "Man, did I have a wild dream?" And then I see blood in my sheets, and I go in the bathroom, and I have these bloody marks. And my wife goes, "I think you were attacked by some supernatural being." And I was like trying to be logical about it. And I was like, "Yeah, I definitely was." And then I called one of my producers who's like, "Oh yeah, well, that's pretty common." I was like, "What?" And I've had a couple other experiences, not that crazy, but where you really feel God's presence, which is marked by peace and true empathy, love for other people, which doesn't come naturally to me. I'm kind of a dick, obviously. But you know it when God is acting through you, and then they're followed by some wild attack. Like, why? I've had a couple things. It's just like, well, anyway, I'm not an expert on this. I'm hardly a theologian. Of course, I would never pretend to be an expert on anything. I can only say what happened to me. It was 100% real, and it completely changed my view of the world.
Well, what did you learn from your conversation with Lee Strobel, who wrote a book on the supernatural and who also wrote The Case for Christ? Many of you guys recommended that book to me, and it really was amazing. And Lee Strobel came on your show in September.
Yes.
On his new book, which is about the supernatural.
Yes.
It's about miracles.
Amazing.
It's about angels. It's about demons. It's a great read. But was there something in there that spoke to you?
Everything about it. I mean, I grew up in a church, I'll just admit it with shame, in the Episcopal Church, where all the supernatural stuff was taken out. And at a certain stage in my life, I was like, why am I going to church? I love hanging in bed with my wife and dogs on Sunday morning. Like, why am I? And we were ties to church. Like, why am I doing this? There's nothing in here that's like, be nice to your neighbor. Okay. Like, if it's not supernatural, then what's the point? And when I read the Bible, it's like, it is about the supernatural.
Yeah,
like, that's the whole story.
It's true.
It's like God intervenes supernaturally, bigger than, above nature. And that's why it's different from every other book. And the New Testament especially is filled with Jesus casting out demons. I literally didn't know that. I knew there was the crazy guy in the cemetery who broke his chains, but I didn't really realize that not only was Jesus, but also the disciples were casting out demons that were possessing people and causing them to hurt themselves. And as someone who had a drug and alcohol problem, like I know kind of that weird, I've seen it a lot in others also, that weird desire to harm yourself.
By the way, there's a reason they call it his demons. He's fighting his demons.
It is totally real. Because ultimately, evil, we always think of evil as like something that like diabolical people do to gain, like I'm screwing you, I'm killing you so I can take your gold. But what we never acknowledge is true, which is evil flows through people and destroys the people. Not just the victims, but also the person through whom it flows. People who are possessed by evil are themselves destroyed every single time. And of course, I've lived a life, so I've seen a lot of that, and now in retrospect, I understand what it was. And so much of what we experience is from outside of ourselves. We are acted upon constantly by the spiritual realm. And Lee Strobel just affirmed what I was beginning to realize, which is we are the subject of massive supernatural influence all the time. And every other civilization from the beginning of time has acknowledged this and written about it and left artifacts that point to that belief. And only in the last 80 years have we just foreclosed that possibility, and we've embraced this, the dumbest religion ever created, scientism, which is like, oh, I can't measure that. It's not real. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Right? That's like insane, actually. When you say it out loud. But that is our state religion. It's mandated, by the way. If you don't believe it, you can't serve in high office, you're mocked, you're literally disqualified from professions if you don't embrace scientism, which is like the fakest thing ever invented. Like I would always, like as a kid, study these weird religions and be like, that's insane. Nothing is as insane as scientism.
It's amazing whenever you hear Tucker Carlson out of everybody start talking about how he was attacked by demons. And he's right. Most people want to listen to, go to church and don't want anything to do with the supernatural, but the Bible is completely supernatural. Everything Jesus did was supernatural. It was supernatural for him to come to earth, to be born of a virgin, die on a cross, raised from the dead. That's all supernatural. He healed people. He cast out devils everywhere he went. This is all supernatural. And I can't believe it, but yeah, Tucker Carlson is 100% correct. He said he had made up in his own mind. He said, if the Bible's not supernatural, what are we doing this for? This man was literally attacked by demons he had scratches on his side, blood on his sheets, because he was physically attacked by demons. And I want to get into this in Acts 19:14, and it says, and there was 7 sons of Sceva, a Jew and a chief priest, which did so. And the evil spirits answered and said, Jesus I know, Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirits was leaped on them, and overcame them, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house, naked and wounded. There's another one. There's one right there in the Bible. It said that they was wounded, meaning they was hurt by the demons. They was physically assaulted by demons. Look, some of you may have had the same experience. But what I like to do, I like to cast them out. I like to send them to hell. Or the other word for hell in the Bible is Sheol. And I use that a lot when during deliverance. I've got a deliverance right here. I'm going to let you, it's very short, but it's a demon speaking through a woman talking about it doesn't want to go to Sheol. In the name, how bad is Sheol? It is torture, isn't it?
Oh, it's so bad! It's dark in there! There's no light!
No light at all, because God's not there. Because God is the light.
Please don't make it go, please don't make it go, please don't make it go.